see any 3, 2, 1 going on.
I know. I think it's because YouTube gave us a notification, and my pinky wasn't good enough to get to Instagram.
Well, apparently we're live on
They both
Instagram.
say live.
There we go. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Tuesday Night Live.
Yes, it's a thing now.
I am Dean Nixon. This is the lovely Kate Semmens, and we are coming to you live from St. George, Utah, Southern Utah, at TurningLeaf Health and Wellness. And we are super stoked to join you again. Here we are, 2023.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I love it.
Yes.
Can I point out one thing really quick? I love that, like, in the spring and summer, you always give, like, the weather update. So it's like sunny St. George, and when we're in the winter, it's like, we're in St. George.
We're in St. George. Well,
it's getting dark outside.
It is dark outside. I gotta be honest with you, this is a rough time of year for me because
too.
I am inherently cold. I'm a lizard. I'm built for the desert. I love the heat. And so when we start getting into that between September and like
I love it.
April, I'm cold.
Yeah.
So
in fact, I got Dean electric gloves.
Yeah.
You plug it into your laptop so you can keep your hands warm while you're doing your stuff.
While you're typing
Merry
away.
Christmas.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciated that. Well, we are excited to join you tonight. We wanted to take a few minutes.
Yeah. Because we got lots of cool stuff just like coming up. So we've done it biannually now, not biannually. This is our second annual Turning Leaf retreat.
Okay.
And this time at our retreat, we got really, really intentional and serious about all the stuff that we want to be in creation of and bringing to you guys. So we got seminars all planned. We got coaching program in the works. We've got teen leadership and a spoiler for a teen summer camp. We've got lots of cool stuff.
Lots of good stuff
on the
coming
docket.
this year.
So we wanted to start off tonight letting you guys know what we have planned that you can participate with if you'd love to come grow with us for January and February. First and foremost, we have a level 5 this weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There are still 2 seats in this seminar, and that's it. If you're like,
impressive.
I didn't even know level 5 was going on, call us tomorrow, get in there, because level 5 is it's called Influence, and it's its own thing, man.
Yeah.
It's
it's
exciting.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a great process, a great seminar. This will be the second second level 5 we've had so far. So this is a big group. So we actually have a very big group. We're bursting at the seams with just 2 more seats left, which is pretty cool. And then later in the month, we have another level 1 seminar coming up the 26th through the 28th.
Good job.
I did it.
You did it.
And we're excited because this is the beginning of the series, and we will be running our series again starting in February. We'll run all the way through into midsummer when we'll have another level 5 opportunity for those of you that still want to be able to do that. So we're super stoked for that to occur.
I absolutely love doing level 1s in January, Dean, because like you said, it's the first of the series. If you guys have been following us on Monday Night Live, which is now Tuesday Night Live, right?
Yeah.
If you've been following us for a minute, I love new beginnings. I love that like excitement of the start of something new. And so level 1, which is the beginning of the seminar series at the beginning of the year, forget about it. Like it's just such a good place to be in.
Yeah. And it's always such a fresh start, and the ability to hit that restart button to really understand how the world has been impacting us, to be able to grow and progress and to break from a lot of those old belief systems that aren't working for us anymore, especially when it comes to how we show up in the world and our excessive need to be needed or to show up a certain way. So if you're ready to break free from that, if you're ready to level up, if you're ready to move to a whole new mental space than ever before, then get into this level 1. This is a good way to get started in that process.
So I'll just finish telling you how you do that. Is the easiest way is just to call and talk to Camry. Just 435-652-1202. She'll answer all your questions, get you registered, get you all signed up for that. It's the easiest way. Other ways, if you got questions, message us any way that you can. Text, DMs, like we're doing our best to be able to be available to answer questions for you guys. And that's how you would get your seat locked down for that. One more thing before we jump into our topic, because I'm really excited about this one this next year. TurningLeaf Life Coaching Program officially begins February the 4th, which is 1 month away, Dean.
Yep. Yes. Super excited.
So soon.
So a lot of those of you that are watching that have already signed up for that program, get excited, get even more excited. There's so many cool pieces that are coming from this. And so if you yourself feel like, or this is something I want to be able to help influence other people, to be able to help move people forward and give them light and give them hope and develop a skill set to be able to do that, then this course is for you. It's a year-long course.
Yep.
We meet monthly. We have all sorts of experiential work you're going to be doing, Zoom meetings, books you're reading, skills you're learning, practicing all sorts of types of work. And it's all based upon being a successful life coach and being able to build a book of business and be able to move people forward, and most importantly, to move yourself forward. So if you are looking for something like this, this is your opportunity right here in St. George. And I encourage you to reach out and get a hold of us. Again, our seats are almost full in this as well.
Yeah, we just have a handful left.
We only have a few seats left, so please make sure if that's something on your heart that you reach out and get involved. So we're stoked. A lot of good stuff just in the first 2 months.
Yeah. There's if you ever do any like posting on like your story and you can add like a little figure, right? There's a little figure of Anna from Frozen and she goes like this. And that's exactly how I feel every time we talk about these things. She just goes like just so excited.
I hope you figure out how to somehow integrate that
put that into right
post.
Here. So there's a visual here.
That would be hilarious. Well, as we jump into tonight's topic, it is so important to us. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, we were really working on that mental headspace, the self-talk. And as we head into the new year and we head into that opportunity that is ahead of us. So here we are, people. This is 2023. We know that coming out of 2020 and going into all of the challenges that we had in 2020, 2021, and the lingering of it in 22 as people start to kind of emerge out of the shells and out of the attics and the dens and the basements that we've been kind of huddled into for all this period of time. As we are stepping into 2023, this is really the year that we are going to be just kind of stepping into the sunlight again.
Yes.
And this is the year of hope. This is the year of evolution. This is the year that we start to become a creator in our life. And I hope that you sense that. I hope that you feel that this is that opportunity for you to become the creator that you want to be, instead of being in reaction.
Yes, absolutely. And so that's what we want to talk to you guys about tonight, is the difference in operating out of a reactive state or getting into intention and creation. Because, I mean, my experience, and I would guess it's probably most of ours, it's easier to come from a place of reaction, right? Like something happens to you, you react. You step on a Lego, you scream, and you want to like strangle something, anything that's nearest to you, right? Like you stub your knee, your toe, like there's just the reaction piece of us. And emotionally, mentally, all of those other parts of you do the same thing when we have an experience, right? We talk a lot about, like in the trauma world, especially something that's very pop culture at the moment, right? Like we get triggered. We have something and we have a reaction to it. And sometimes it's a behavior, or we go into an expression that isn't really even who and what we are in our present day, because it's come from somewhere else, right? And all of a sudden we're in an old behavior. It's like, oh, why am I doing this again? Why am I, we get stuck in this kind of reactive space. And when you're living in a place of reaction, it's not as effective to move your life forward as getting into a place of intention and creation.
Right. And so using your Lego experience and metaphor, I should say, well, experience, because we've all had
Yeah,
it.
we have.
But what we start to do at this point, and this is why this is so relevant, is as we go into the beginning of the new year, so many times we talk about this every year, this beginning of the New Year's resolutions,
Right.
or the wanting to commit to something, or the starting of something new. And this is really a good time to do that, is to really, it's a fresh start.
Yes.
You're getting a fresh start. We got a new full moon coming in a couple days. We've got all sorts of wonderful new beginnings. And so what happens is I step on the Lego and I think to myself, I never want to do that again. I don't ever want to feel that pain again. So then what we do is we start to create based upon the pain we've experienced in our lives, based upon, as you put it so well, the reactionary space that we're in. So I skin my knee, I step on a Lego, I get hurt, I have pain, and so I sit down and I start creating a New Year's resolution list, and all I'm doing is trying to avoid discomfort, pain, trauma, anything that I don't want to feel. It's like, I want to lose all this weight. Why? Because I don't want to be fat. So it's this reaction to not wanting to be uncomfortable, not wanting to be hurting, rather than sitting back and going, wow, I stepped on a Lego. What did I learn from that? I learned that Legos are in the space that we're in. Okay, so what can I move? How can I create? How can I create a cleaner world for myself? Or how can I start to walk differently? Or how can I navigate the world differently? Or how can I communicate differently in order to be more empowered in my world, rather than I'm not going to walk this way anymore, or I'm going to take all the Legos and throw them in the trash, or all of the reactionary stuff. Hopefully that ramble made sense.
Yeah, no, it totally made sense. And what's just coming in for me as I'm listening to you speak is one of those mantras and the things that we like to kind of anchor into around here at TurningLeaf, which is what you focus on, you create, right?
Right.
And so when you're coming from that place of reactionary expression of I don't want this, right? I heard long ago, I can't even remember, it could even be some of the stuff with Joe Dispenza, but I'm not quite certain where, so I don't know who to attribute to this. It's not my own genius thought, right? But our brain doesn't really ever hear don't, right? Or I don't want that. All it hears is, oh, I am fat, or
Right.
I like it kind of bypasses that, and it just focuses itself in on what we actually don't want to be experiencing. So in that space of reactionary places, right, in the come from of, okay, it's 2023, I don't want to feel this pain anymore, I don't want to feel this discomfort anymore, I don't want to be experiencing these things anymore, right? And then we set goals, we set resolutions, or whatever that looks like for you, or you just find your motto or your mantra, what you're going to hold on to for the year, which are all good things. However, when it comes from that place of reaction, it's coming out of a place that you were actually focusing on what you don't want, instead of shifting into intention and start creating what you do want.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so as you're talking through that piece, it is that the mind accepts what you're saying as a truth. So when you say, I don't want to be fat, then the mind accepts I am fat.
Right.
Or I don't want to be ugly, the mind accepts that I'm ugly as a fact. It's not listening to the I don't want to piece. And so that's where we have to shift that and move away from, I want to be healthy. I want to be at a healthy weight for myself. I want to be able to move freely physically where I want to move. And I focus more on that healthy lifestyle. And that's the other piece in this creation space that we want to be in, is we need to move more towards a creation space of lifestyle. And this is where I see most people struggle, is the inability to build a lifestyle. I see a lot of people tell me what they want. I have a lot of people that come in and constantly tell me what they want and how different from what they have. But what they don't do very well, or what they struggle doing, is building the lifestyle to support what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I want to be at a healthy weight for myself, then I have to build a lifestyle. So how do I build a lifestyle? Well, the first thing I have to look at is my environment. Like, what is the environment that I'm putting myself in? If I'm, putting myself in a space where, for example, my office is directly above Sweet Sugar Cookie here in St. George. Shameless plug for those guys.
Because they're delicious.
Because they're amazing.
Shout out to the old-fashioned cookie.
Right. So if that's a part of my environment, is having an office directly above here, which is very convenient to walk downstairs and grab, their wonderful little minis and all the different ones. But for me, what I have is now I've got to create a lifestyle where I set and hold a boundary with that. So even though I'm in an environment where temptation can be there for me, I can still hold a boundary. But also, I need to put myself in places that I know I can thrive to be able to build that lifestyle, so that I'm filling my cupboards and my refrigerator with foods that support the lifestyle that I want to create, versus the lifestyle I think I want, or I want it, but I'm not willing to commit to. And that's the other part too I want to add, is a lot of times with the food, for example, we get into this good food, bad food mentality. And I encourage you to read the book Intuitive Eating, which really is a wonderful book to help us understand that there's no good food, bad food, there's just food.
Right.
And we have to navigate through what works best for our body and our body design. And so as we get into that, if I want to have a healthy lifestyle, I have to find foods that I'm attracted to, foods that I will consistently eat.
That actually make my body feel good.
The way I want it to feel.
Yes.
So I've got to look at the environment. I've got to look at that physical environment. I've got to look at the emotional environment. I've got to look at a lot of that environment aspect of it. Does that make sense?
100%. And I don't know why I feel like I have to say this. Like, sometimes when we get into talking about like intentions and lifestyle and creating the things that we want, honestly, the reason that we kind of go naturally into this space of like body, food, lifestyle is because that's something that I think a lot of us wrestle with as humans. This is a really natural, fighting that body thing all the time. But we can apply this to literally anything that you want to be experiencing, right? Like any shift, any evolution, any growth that you want to create in your life, these same principles still apply, right? Like if you want to start having healthier relationships, then you look at your environment. You look at the people you're surrounding yourself with. You look at the media that you're allowing to influence you about what a healthy relationship looks like, or how someone shows up in a relationship, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You start working all the pieces that keep you falling back into maybe some codependency behaviors or whatever that looks like, to begin to move your life towards what it is that you actually want to be experiencing. And when you were talking about that lifestyle piece, Dean, that just sunk into my heart is, and I'm harping on this one all the time too, because I fall prey to it. I fall victim to it very, very easily, is in our world of Amazon delivery, which is not today anymore, by the way. Thanks, didn't get a number of Christmas presents, but that whole life apparently is gone with the COVID. My bitterness isn't showing, right? But just this like instant life that we live in, right? What the things that you want, the real ways that you want to be experiencing and moving and living through life takes cultivation, right? It takes creating that new lifestyle pattern till eventually that is the way that it is, and it doesn't take much effort anymore to be in that new expression. However, my darlings, it's not going to happen overnight. I wish it would, because heaven knows I would be a lot farther along where I want to be if I could just take some pill, right? Or make some wish or rub some lamp and just be like, okay, boom, 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 these are the things that I want. But really, and I mean, I would argue that no matter what anybody would come in and say to us about, hey, this is what I want to be experiencing, there's going to be a time span of cultivation to be an intention to create it, to actually move the pendulum so that it's not just to me, it's like I can white knuckle something and get what I want for a moment, right? But if it's actually going to be lasting, then it takes that that germination time. I guess I'm having lots of like planting things go on in my brain right now,
Apparently,
right? Like
that didn't come
maybe
from
it's
Amazon.
your beautiful plant
Your
sitting
plant
right
didn't
here.
show up.
I did not order a plant from Amazon. It was a backpack.
Okay, all right. Now we're clear.
Now we're clear.
Well, I agree with you, and I think going back to, kind of what we were talking about, or that piece where you're saying that we can apply it to anything. And that's where, that first piece, like we were talking about, is environment. The second piece is the people, and you started talking about it, is what are the people that I'm surrounding myself with, and who am I surrounding myself with? Am I putting myself around individuals that support the new lifestyle that I want to create? Because inevitably we do one of two things. We either feed into their negativity or into their thought process, or even in not necessarily negativity, but the thinking styles. And we'll kind of default because we want those people in our lives. We want them to love us. We want them to appreciate us. So we will gravitate towards normalizing something, which sometimes is giving up, what you want.
Right, absolutely.
And so it is about people, surrounding yourself with the people, making sure that your verbiage, your talk, that your motivation, and all of those things. But the other piece that I wanted to add that you're alluding to the most, which that germination, as you put it, or that time that it takes to evolve, or that consistency, it's really the next big step
that was a good word.
Is commitment.
Yeah.
You've got to be committed to the lifestyle, committed to living a certain way, or being the person that you choose to be, because in truth, the world out there is going to try and change your opinion.
Yeah.
There are people in your life that want you in their lives. And so in a lot of ways, when you start changing lanes, they start to feel a level of separation. So they may criticize intentionally or unintentionally. They may verbalize intentionally or unintentionally. They may express frustration or express fear. They may do passive aggressive things or say passive aggressive things. And if you're not committed to what you want to create for yourself, then we tend to just kind of let go and relax those foundational pieces. But also we have to be committed for ourselves, because inherently we can become very tired. We become very fatigued. We can become hungry. We become angry and hot and tired, and all the things that lower our commitment level. And when that commitment level is lower, that's when we find that all of a sudden you're sitting down in front of the couch eating a bag of caramel popcorn, or maybe you're like, oh, I need to get up and go to class because I want to get my degree, but it's like, oh, I stayed up too late watching TV, so I'll just get notes from that person I've been sitting next to, or whatever it is. Right. That's when the commitment drops down. That's when we let off the gas. And what I have found in my own personal life is the things that I'm willing to commit to. Oftentimes I have to be willing to go and do the hard things. I have to be willing to push through the discomfort. I have to gut it out and do the things that I don't necessarily want to do, but I know in the long run they're going to get me what I truly want. And then secondly, I've had to learn to not always listen to the people around me. I have to listen to what they're saying, but I also need to make sure that what they're saying is coming from a place that's supportive of what I'm trying to create.
Yes, absolutely. Which then in the 2 seconds that we have right here, for me, that also comes right around into having a person or a handful of people that can really help keep you into accountability, right? That you can vocalize the shifts that you're wanting to make, the intentions you're really wanting to experience, and then giving them literally having a one-on-one with these people and letting them know, hey, this is what I want to be doing. So if you see me slipping into some old behaviors, please lovingly call me out on that, right? And guys, I don't like criticism any more than anybody else. I don't like it way more than everybody else because I struggle with it, right? But I can tell you I'm so grateful for all of the advocates that I have in my life that help me moving in the direction of where I want to go, for no other reason than they love me and they want me to be heading in the direction that I want to be heading in, right? So like when you or my sister or my other, like all these people in my life that I have asked to help me do those things says, hey, seeing this behavior, what do you really want to be experiencing, right? And at first I'm just like, you're the worst. But then it's wonderful, right? Yeah. Like it's the most incredible thing. And then likewise, to be able to be that for someone else is also really so helpful and so empowering to be able to say, hey, do you remember this is what you had wanted to be experiencing, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, it is important. So we thank you all for tuning in. I know we've run out of time as always. Thank you for liking and sharing our videos. Thank you for saying hello to us.
Yes.
And all the support and love we get. We appreciate you very much.
And we will see you next Tuesday on Tuesday Night Live. Bye,
see you
guys.
Later. It's up top. You missed it.
I missed it.